What is up, game changers? Welcome to the end game. My name is Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am an ascension master, master healer, and divine guide. I am, in fact, the one who brought about the ascension. Before I get into a little details about that, today is a very important message. It is, in fact, kind of like a warning. Okay? We've reached a tipping point. Another one. And I don't like the fact that people are getting cut off from the light, but they are. Before I get into the message further, when I said I brought about the ascension, this is true. I had a Kundalini awakening in 2019, which was very, very powerful. It's not like any you've ever probably heard of. Then I started having things happen to and through me, getting visuals of the truths of the world around you. Then I started doing healings to people I've never seen done to this day. You're talking healing, miraculous things. I can see the insides of people. It's insane. I would do things as far as going outside of my body. I wouldn't even have to be there with them. I can do what they would call remote viewing, but it's not even that. It's beyond that. Then I started doing things to the earth. From activating pyramids, I cleared Mount Shasta. I freed Jesus' soul not once, but twice. United all twin flames, at least in the ethereal, the energetic realm, my twin flame and I, Jesus and Mary Magdalene. I undid the false Holy Grail. Then I activated more pyramids all across the globe. I mean activated. I used that Kundalini energy, my light and Christ's light, to activate those pyramids. I changed the crystalline grid. I replaced all the crystals underneath that ethereal, underneath the grid. Replaced the core of the earth from dark to light. Burned Archangel Samael, and so much more. Okay? Also undid the false concept of your reality. I undid the false concept of time. I undid all of the thresholds of the dark concept of the moon as well. Sekhmet and Horus were my lifetimes, Adam and Eve, and Jesus and Mary Magdalene. I'm going to tell you right now that you are actually playing out every lifetime you've ever had, because this is a great reset, 222. You will never be here again. You don't have an opportunity to come back in another lifetime to do things the way you've done them before, to clear karma or anything like that. This tipping point that we just reached is quite massive. And for some reason, people continually think that they are just righteously given a placehold in the new earth. And that is not the case at all. For if you are not healed enough right now, it's going to hurt. Okay? There is only one path home, and that is the path to righteousness, which I brought about. That's not me making that up. That's not my ego. You don't have to choose it if you don't want to, but there is only one path home. And that makes sense because God fulfilled his promise. He sent back those to do the work that they needed to do. Me and my twin flame. Now, I do have a little message for twin flames today as well. It's coming through. It's not like I'm trying to force it. I felt last night just this calling for my twin flame. And I miss him dearly. And I'm not talking about my first twin flame. I'm talking about my new one. I actually did lose a twin flame. The first one passed away. He chose darkness. He chose it. I spent a year battling for that part of my soul. He attacked. It was bad. It was a very painful journey. But it was also very beautiful in the end. For I was gifted a new twin flame. Now I have a little bit of a twin flame message, but this is also a message for all. Okay? This is not just twin flames, but this is a message for all, but especially that of my DM. There are only 2 people who've gone through the gates right now that can actually help. One is myself. There's actually 4 who've gone through, but unless you are in your power fully, unless you are in the lens of love and unconditional love, and you are heart-centered, you are not in ego, not in judgment, any of those things, you can't hear the call. This is a very serious thing. It's not just a joke. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not a what if. And Spirit says right now it's time to surrender. You need to surrender more than you've ever surrendered before. Okay? You need to stop questioning. You need to honor your feelings, your fears. Because what that is that's healing that's needed. Okay? If you're in judgment, you must heal it. But this isn't layered healing. The path to righteousness in which I brought about removes it all from your existence. And then you must not allow it back in through the entirety of the gates. You guys, you are being forced through the gates whether you want to or not. You don't have any time to waste. For that truly is haste. Okay? That's you trying to take control. And Spirit says it's now very important to release control. For you are truly, the only control you have are the choices you make every day. You don't have control to bypass the ascension. You cannot manifest your way in. It's very real. It's not to be feared, but it is the return of Christ. That is what I've done. Okay, not only did I activate pyramids, I brought down Christ's light all over the globe. I did it through the rays. And what people really start to judge is when I tell you I even ascended the angels too, because that is who I am. And that is in the path to righteousness. That's in the final trip to Sequoia. I ascended the angels too. We took us into 7D, not 5D. The earth just shifted in a very big way. A new timeline has anchored in. Okay? You need to attune to the divine. This is a warning to that. You must attune to the divine. There is no time left, no time to waste, no time to haste. Like, for instance, if the twin flame, my DM, doesn't do so, he doesn't just hurt him. He doesn't just hurt me. We are all one. And if you are refusing to surrender, if you think you're in control, which actually there is energy of even people doing that now, okay? And it's not good. Even if you make it through the gates, you have to play in the lays of the land, okay? God's land, God's light. That is unconditional love, not ego-driven. It's not about you being better than anybody or on top of. It's about being truthful with yourself, honest to all get out, heart-centered, and nothing but unconditional love. And it's not easy. It's not easy because you're in full power. And third dimensional reality, in this land, we are nudged quite often by our angels and the higher selves. But once you cross those gates, there is no more of that. It's not that they're not there, but you must be in your power. Okay? You have to keep your heart open at this time. Like my twin flame. I miss him more than anything in the world. His love, his feelings. There's nothing he has to fix. There is nothing he has to repair. There's no need to go backwards. There's no need to make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do. It is truly about being true to yourself and what it is you truly want and what it is you're supposed to do. It doesn't matter what other people think of you. You need to let that go. I had to bypass some major energy of fear, and I'm willing to do so. I'm willing to do anything for my twin flame, including love myself even more. So that is what we need to do. We need to open our heart. You need to be honest. You need to surrender to what God keeps repeatedly telling you. But can you even hear the call? Is your heart open? I recently completed my course Reading Between the Lines, and in the healing, it was very relevant, and I can tell who did it and who didn't. It was very important to note that a lot of people think that in order to be psychic or to see, you just need your pineal gland, your pituitary gland, your third eye, or your crown. That is not the case. If your heart is not open and healed enough, you cannot hear the call. That is when other things take over. For right now, there is a negative influence on a lot of you. A negative influence, and I can see it always trying to play out in my reality as well. That's part of the shadow, okay? There's huge negative influences. It comes as very subtle. It looks enticing, okay? It looks great on the outside. But what you don't realize is then you miss your path. You miss your opportunity. You miss that divine guide. In order to bypass that, you need to be curious within. You need to dive deep within to your heart space. You need to listen to the call of the one. There is only one path home, and that is through the one who brought it about. Okay? For what I tell you is very real and very important at this time. We must be healed. We must forgive unconditionally ourselves and each other. That's why if there is one thing they're telling me, say one thing you would tell to the DM right now. If there is one thing, if he could hear me, he's the most important thing in this world to me. I miss his love. I miss his trying. I miss his energy coming in. Although I hear his songs and they mean the world to me, I love him dearly. He's the only one I want around me in my existence and to be with through eternity. He's so important to me. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past. The only thing that matters to me is right here and right now. Love. Love me like nobody's ever loved me before, and I want to do the same for him. And that is what we need to be doing with ourselves as well. We need to love ourselves like we've never loved ourselves before, because we have gone into a realm that will hurt otherwise. That's not a joke. Okay? You need to not be afraid to be different. You need to not be afraid to speak your truths, because if you let other people's judgments fall upon you, you allow those judgments to become you. If you let doubt and fear and ego get in your way, or even money, it's dangerous at this time. Money will continue forward in a pure form. Everything is having a karmic kickback at this time, and it's going to get more intense and more intense and more intense. And the other day I told you there is something very big coming with a shock value of 9. This is something very big. It's going to kick us in our gut, because all of your structures are about to unfold. And what would bother me is you'll hear these star seeds and these light workers talk about, get your popcorn, get ready to watch it unfold. I pray every day that people can see, that people can wake up, because it hurts my heart when they don't. It hurts my heart when their ego takes over and all they care about is themselves. For if you can't see that we're all connected, we all affect each other, we should all be supporting each other and loving one another, and that requires honesty. That requires pure honesty with self and then with others. Don't be afraid of that. We should never be afraid of our truth. We should never be afraid of being vulnerable and keeping our heart open. And I don't know if my twin flame can hear me telepathically at this time, but I kept trying to tell him last night that I'm vulnerable to him, and I want to be. I wanted to lay my heart open to him unconditionally. Pure, unconditional, unadulterated love. The most passion I know is deep within for him. I can feel the calling. I can feel the pull, and I love that pull. I don't want to lose him. It is a sacred union. There is no other union like my twin flame and mine. No other. People can only get a glimpse of it. All the other twin flames only get a glimpse of it. And so Spirit is asking the DM right now. This is a special message for the twin flame, my DM particularly, to honor and treasure that relationship. For it is truly sacred. It is sacred. It is a bond like no other. It is a marriage of God. It is a union of two souls, the masculine and the feminine, the mother and the father. That is who we are. You need to really, truly take a good look around your situation, okay? It's very, very, very important to be curious at what truly is happening around you. To not let those around you influence your decisions, because they don't always have your best interest at mind. And they will come from those you are closest to. Trust me. On my journey, they thought that it would be the ones closest to me to keep me off of my path, and it turned out being my original DM instead. You have to be very careful at others' intentions, because they can put on a great facade. But there truly is only one path home. And we have gone into the ethereal. We have gone into a very high vibrational state on this planet. And if you do not match that vibration, it will hurt. This vibration is what is going to cause another wave of karmic kickback. This is a foundation breaker. Okay? Massive collective tower moments. Beyond repair. They are not meant to be rebuilt. We are not going to be rebuilding the White House when it crumbles. That is not happening. So myself, in honor of my DM, I decided to love myself completely. To not let anything stop me this time. To not let grief or anything false get in the way, because in truth, I'm honored to have him. I love his love. I love this person. He was not the original one that I was to be with, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I love him more than anything in the world. And I don't want to go backwards. He's done nothing wrong in my mind. I only wish for his love at this time. What I'm asking everybody to do is surrender. Let go of the need to control, because you are not in control. The only thing you control is your decisions in the here and the now. Your choice to surrender to the shadow or surrender to the divine love. We should only be in love and support of one another. And even those closest to me at this time are not in unconditional love. That is a detriment. When I did the Nile, I spoke of the fact that if you do not play in the lays of the land, even I have to, you get cut off. You cut yourself off. I don't do it. I don't have any choice because you do it to yourself. It is my light. It's not a joke. If you truly watch all the workshops that I do, which I uploaded about a quarter of them on this channel for you to see, maybe almost half, you'll see what I'm saying. When I activated the pyramids in Kilimanjaro, the Congo, and British Columbia, I burned the White House. I took down the shadow components that were underneath of it. It is not to be repaired. This is not to just take down certain structures. It's every structure that you knew. And you must be healed enough, my friends. And I don't mean your little theories of, oh, I'm healing every day. I've had so many people tell me that, and then I see them fall off in the shadow. They become anchored in, and they can't hear it anymore. To do it without God is a false persona. To say you can do it on your own is a false persona. We truly need each other. We truly need love. You must keep your heart open at this time. You must open it further and further and further and attune to the divine, to unconditional love. And you must not be afraid to be different or to feel alone. Because it's not about codependent relationships. It's not about karmic ties. It's about healing through love. And sometimes that means you feel alone, which is why we truly need each other. For I heard recently in a healing that I did that even somebody I knew thinks that they can do it alone, that they don't need me. And it cuts them off from the light. Not I, themselves. Why do you think that happens? Because to do it without God is a false persona. That's ego. We are all connected. We are supposed to be all aligned under the light of the one, under the dome that I created. If you saw my video where I protected Israel recently, the Garden of Eden, I did that live. You'll know what I'm talking about. The light will rise through me and my DM. And those that are not aligned won't survive. How do you align? You have to heal completely. All past lives, all karmic ties, everything. In order to hear the call, you can't just think that you are in control. If Spirit gives a message and you're like, well, I'll do it when I'm ready. God told you to do it now, not later. God is unconditional. So he's patient and he waits and he waits, but you are running out of time. We have gone into the ethereal. We have gone into a further dimensional plane. And those that do not match will be removed even more. I see it happen daily. I've literally had somebody I grew up with and they're like, oh, I'm healing it on my own. They never watched my videos. In fact, they judged. And then eventually they fell off. I don't see them anymore at all. They are not in the ethereal. They're somewhere else in a different plane. So when I tell you right now that you must release control, that there are negative influences that are affecting you, it's true. It was devastating to me to want to feel my DM like I did when I first united with him. Not my original, my new one. That's the funny thing. I don't miss my original. I miss my new one. I miss his love. I love his songs. I keep hearing songs. And when I hear certain songs, I'm like, oh, I'll even tell my kids, oh my gosh, I hear this song. And they're like, oh, you haven't heard that one in a while. I'm like, I know. He means the world to me. I don't think I've told him that enough. It is a sacred union. It is a bond. It is a blessing to be able to hear the call. To receive a call and to deny it hurts your soul. You need to find a sacred space where you can be yourself, and you need to not be afraid of what others think of you at this time. Spirit asked me to do this and put myself out there. You think people don't judge? Oh, they have the whole entire time. I've lost lots of people on my journey. That's their choice, not mine. Okay? That is their choice to go into judgment, into fear, into ego, and to not open their heart enough. I've provided the path. I created the path. It's very real. It's not hypothetical. For the twin flames, my DM, my twin flame, my DM, Spirit wants me to say, don't base decisions on guilt or what you think you should do. It's only in being true to yourself that you can be true to others too. There is deep passion within, this passion that, man, wait until that ignites. You will have no idea how special our relationship is. It is a sacred connection. It is a sacred union and a bond like no other. My best friend. That is in our contract. What a beautiful contract we have. Signed, sealed, and delivered. It's not karmic. There's no judgment. And there should be no fear. For in truth, the only thing I want to do is comfort him. And the only thing I ask him to do is love me like no one else has before. Without excuses, without hesitation. Push through and love me so much. That's all I ask. And in turn, he loves the world and himself. Because if he truly looks deep into his heart and he lets go of everything else, I can only imagine what his truth really is. We must keep our heart open. We must Really look at the situation at hand. What is going on around you? What is happening? Because there's negative influences going on left, right, and center. I can see them. I can feel them. I've been healing from some attacks myself. They've been quite painful. If you hesitate in surrendering, you could miss something very important. You don't know the whole gamut of why Spirit says to do something at this time. And you can judge it. You can think you know better. You can let fear get the better of you. And then the next thing you know, you've cut yourself off from the light. And then you want to blame others, right? I remember when my DM died, the original one, he said, don't be afraid to attune to the divine. He came through and did a message, and he said, don't be afraid to listen to the divine. That is what I ask. But can you hear the call if your heart is not open, if you're not truly being honest with yourself and the situation around you, and if you're not falling into others' judgments? You must release control and surrender to the call. Do not let anything else stop you, because that's ego, that's fear, that's the shadow. You don't know what's coming, but I do. I threw money in a portal. It has a karmic kickback. So if you let money stop you, that's not good either. Create it, call it in. It doesn't matter. For if you are on your path, Spirit will always provide for you. Trust me, I've had to surrender to that myself many times over. I've done the entire ascension, and I had to let go of my career to do it. All income ceased, and I just followed Spirit's call. And I always had what I needed when I needed it. And you know what? I may have gone without for some time, and that's okay too, because what's more important? Enticements? Your ego? Please. If we truly sit in stillness, no matter what we seem we don't have, we actually have everything we need. Open your heart and listen. Let's allow love to guide the way. That should be the only guide. I can literally tell people I don't feel good, and barely do they hear me. Most people only care about what's in it for them. We need to change that tide. I had to sacrifice a lot to complete this journey. But I surely don't want to sacrifice my twin flame now. I do not. He's very special to me, more than I've ever told him before. He means the world to me, and I know it's the same one because they told me. They told me it's the same one. My second DM, my walk-in, my heart, my joy. His energy means everything to me. It's that love. That is what should be guiding the way through. We should surrender to that in every given moment, whatever the heart nudges us to do. Not the head, not fear, not ego. This is a sacred journey you will never get another chance to do. I have watched more people fall off than I have watched take the step through. And we are running out of time. That proverbial clock, the doomsday clock, doomsday bullshit, okay? The return of Christ is not doom. You were living in doom. God gives you the tools you need to step up. You just have to surrender to them. You have to surrender ego and all of these existential things that don't matter, these enticements that come from the shadow. Bling blingy seems to stop many. I've seen God do this many times over. They tell people, hey, quit your job. Hey, do this. And people go into ego and go, I can't do that. I need this first. I want this first. I'll do it my way. And then they don't realize they missed big chunk of their path, and they're cut off. I've had so many people tell me, I can do it alone. I'm healing myself already. You obviously have never worked with me. You obviously barely watch my videos. Because if you truly attune to the divine, you pay attention to what I do and what I say and what I've done, and you get out of your head and into your heart, you will know the path home. Because God will show you. Okay? We need to heed the call. There is an influence that is trying to get you. And in order to really bypass it, you need a safe space of protection and light. You need to let go of all the need for anything outside of love. And you need to truly look within. This is about allowing yourself to grow. Allowing yourself to really be curious about growth and learning and letting that control go that only keeps to bind you. It only sets out to bind you. And I've watched it happen time and time again. I see the portals people fall off in, either the one of the moon, Mount Shasta. I'm watching it one by one by one. And I don't want anybody else to. Go deep into your heart and let go of all resistance. But that's not enough, my friends. All lives have to be released. Each portal you go through, you have specific things you have to do. And you must always choose love, always choose the divine guidance. So if God tells you to do something, and you're like, nope, I don't want to, that cuts you off from the ascension. If you think you can do it your way and in your time, God says my life and my path is the only way through. The only path through is through God. Through the one who brought it about. Through God. So what path are you on? There's been a huge shift at this time. You guys, and this is not just a message from me. This is a message from Creator. This is a message from Spirit at this time. You are all chosen ones. You are all chosen because you need the strength that is within you, that is already there. You just let things stop you. And if you think you can do it without the one who brought it about, you're wrong. If you think you can do it without God, you're wrong. I will work diligently until the final time to help people through. And I want my twin flame to know he is the love that I miss. I miss his love every day. I miss feeling his angst. I miss him. I love him. I can still feel him, but not like before. God says, open your heart. Keep it open. Mine is wide open to him, vulnerable as can be. I want nothing more. Can you be vulnerable? Can you let go of fear and judgment and doubt and ego, thinking that, you can do it all your own? God is bigger than you. He's everything. He's unconditional. And we lost that a long time ago on this planet. It's not just about healing. You have to upgrade. You have to completely redo your nervous system, your DNA, all of it. There's so much in that path to righteousness nobody even realizes. Because they think they're doing it okay all on their own. And then I see people fall off left and right. Because union is what we need. We need love. We need to understand that these are bigger than you. I remember when I was bringing about, I'm like, this is bigger than me. And I just kept going and I just kept going until I was in my full power. That is when I dried the Nile. But that wasn't even done yet. Then I processed the earth's death. She died. And then she was reborn. And then I opened the gates all among her, and the Garden of Eden spread out all over her, and what doesn't align will burn. Why is that? Number one, you reap what you sow. Anything outside of God cannot exist. The new earth, you must be completely aligned with all of your power from every lifetime, completely healed, no more karma, and upgraded, evolved. You must be in your power from your heart center, creating only from that space, not from a third dimensional reality or a matrix or things that are about to fall. Because if you remained anchored into those, that's where your light stops shining. You can see it all over the world if you look. Pay attention to the influences around you. Pay attention to what is happening around you. Get into a sacred space where you can open up your heart and you can hear that call. And do not worry about what others think about you, because it's not about that at all. That is not of God. Attune to that divine. Assess the situation now, because we're running out of time. Keep your heart open. This is a major new timeline, a very powerful one. Very powerful. The shift is now. And the shit is about to hit the fan. So, game changers, are you ready to change the game? I hope so. So much love to all of you. I hope you have a beautiful day on this day. It is October 23rd of 23rd. Wow, I just noticed the date. 2323. Allow love to be your guide. Allow your truths to be a guide. And to my DM, there should be no guilt. There should be no fear or what you think you should do. What is your truth? Do you love me? Because I truly love you. And to me, nothing else matters. Except loving myself too. For when I'm truly honest with myself and I go into a space of love, I'm willing to work hard for that, for him and for myself. And the other day I saw the most beautiful ring on my finger, and my heart filled, but I could feel his is closed. And all I ask is for love. It's not about ourselves, it's about union under the light of the one. Because that big flash, the big shebang, is very real. Pay attention to my healing from Israel. Only certain few heard that call. The most important one was the live. So much love to all of you. Stay strong, stay diligent. We don't have time to get our popcorn and make a joke out of it. It's not something I want to bask about and watch unfold. I want to heal as many people as I can, wake up as many people as I can, and get them through those gates before we don't have time anymore. God can only hold the door for so long. The work is already done. That is why. Love each other. Don't judge. Support one another. Listen to the very careful words that we speak, because a lot of people are surface. They can't hear the truths. Pay attention. I love you more and more every day. I hope you feel the same. Until next time. See you later.